Yo, what's up? Your boy Gordukes is here. Sorry about the glare. There's a lot of glare going on. This is gonna be a chill video. Occasionally I like to talk about movies, and it's half the reason why I made the channel. So I'm gonna talk about a bunch of movies and TV shows that I've watched recently. Let me go with the first one that I saw recently, which was One of Them Days. I saw this in theaters a couple weeks ago. I really enjoyed it. I didn't know anything about this movie. The only thing that I knew about this movie is that it had SZA in it. And I for weeks I called it the SZA movie. I knew Kiki Palmer's in there too. I like Kiki Palmer. She's funny, she's cool. She's been 25 my whole life. But I think the reason why I went to go see it because of SZA, bro. Let me start from the beginning. Because the movie is good. The movie is funny, it's well written. There's a lot of characters that come into play. A lot of them have their own little quirks. It feels like a classic comedy that you don't really see nowadays. You don't really see like Will Ferrell making another Elf. You don't see anything but superhero movies and stuff of that nature. So this is like a breath of fresh air. There's a solid story. Like I said, a lot of characters show up. A lot of them are from very prominent shows. Like I could tell, I recognized a few of them. I know the girl who is at the blood drive. I know she's in Abbott Elementary. I never watched that show. I know it's really good. People really like it. They did a thing with Sunny in Philadelphia, which I used to watch a long time ago. It used to be one of my favorite shows. I remember I watched the first season because it would be on FX and they would just play like 4 episodes at a time. I was like, hell yeah, this is good. But then I fell off because damn, there's a lot of episodes. I mean, I'm one to complain because I've watched most of all One Piece, but damn, that show, we got to give them their flowers because they've been going on for a while. But yeah, a lot of good characters in this movie, a lot of good gags. There are a couple things that caught me off guard. Towards the end, I'm not gonna spoil it. I will recommend this movie because it is still in theaters, at least by the time I'm recording this. But if you don't want to go watch a good movie, with solid jokes, solid writing, and a good ending, go for SZA because that's why I went, bro. Bro, SZA is so damn fine, bro. I can't believe she can act. I can't believe she's in this movie and I get to watch her. But yeah, I say go watch this movie. Um, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. As for comedy, it did pretty well. All right, for the next two movies, I saw Nosferatu and Sonic 3 in the same day. Bro, I can't. What a day. It's like Barbenheimer, but like Nosferanic. Gotta go fast or bounce on it. So, how this came to fruition was I wanted to see Nosferatu because I seen a bunch of reviewers saying that it was good. Because I guess people were allowed to see it a month before it came out, or at least it felt like a month. So, people like Dan Merle or Chris Stuckman, I think he saw it before. They were all saying it was pretty good, and it was saying that the acting was really good, and it's a very atmospheric movie, this and that. So I wanted to see it because I just want to see a good movie in the theater, and it looked pretty creepy. And it came out, I think, I think the day after Christmas. I forget. So I told my mom, like, hey, you want to go watch this movie? She's like, oh yeah, Snows for like Drek, all that stuff. She likes all that gothic stuff, kind of. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna set the date. We're gonna go. What I didn't know is how sexual that movie is gonna be. And I look at my big age, I know that I shouldn't be feeling the way that I feel when I watch an adult-ish movie with adult themes around my parents. But that feeling never goes away. Like I cannot help but feel uncomfortable when all these crazy sex scenes come on the thing, on the movie, the TV show, anything. And so my mom didn't know, but I didn't look up what people were saying until the day before I was going to watch the movie with her. And people were saying, they said three things. Okay. They said the movie was boring. Two, the movie was slow, which is basically the same thing. And three is you get to see Homeboy's pud, his pecker. You get to see Orlok Schlong. And I was like, I was kind of rethinking the whole thing. I was like, man, I don't know. Should we do something else? Should we see Sonic instead? She didn't want to see Sonic. I wanted to see Sonic. So yeah, we started off with Nosferatu. We went in there. We had a good crowd. You know, when you get a good crowd that doesn't talk too much, that's what you want. You just want to be empty, unless you're in the mood for that. I know sometimes I am, but other times I'm not. And I guess now it's even more so because I just found out that the theater that I go to is haunted, allegedly. So I do not want to be in there by myself. But I'll get into that later. Anyways, so we're watching Nosferatu. You know, it is kind of a slow movie, but it's a lot of build up, very atmospheric. You know, you really get immersed into the world, and it's a very linear story, but it's like it feels like you're in this time period of people are panicking. You know, the Black Plague ish. You know, I don't remember seeing Nosferatu when I was younger. I might have seen bits and pieces of it. I know it's a very important film. I just haven't seen it. But yeah, I think it did a good job doing the setting. And I also saw Red Letter Media. They did their video on Nosferatu, and they were looking at people what they were saying too. It's like, oh, this movie's boring. This movie's slow, and that just kept popping up. And it's just like, no, it's very necessary. Like I can tell as I'm watching the movie go on, and I can tell like, yeah, people could say that, but it very much gets you immersed into the world. And I don't understand what people wanted. Like, did they think Dracula was gonna kick ass the whole movie? No, I don't think so. I don't know what people expect. I think people heard there's gonna be hella schlong in it, and they rushed and took their mans and they went. But we didn't know. Okay, we didn't know to the devil or whatever. But yeah, I think the ending was pretty cool. The prosthetic, bro. Willem Dafoe. I forget who his character was, but he was smoking up the whole time. The whole time. Everyone, they knocked on his house. He was on that shit. He was walking around solving problems like a Sherlock Holmes. Like, this is some Dracula shit right here. He might have been my favorite character. Everyone else was cool. They had that one guy from Kick-Ass who's like married to an old woman in real life. But yeah, I think Nosferatu was it. And it did get very sexual. Like when he bites someone in the film, Orlok, it's about the Orlok guy. When he's biting someone in the film and he's kind of like dry humping it, he's putting a little motion into it. And then I turned to my mom, she's like, oh my God. I was like, I didn't know, okay? I didn't know. And then, yeah, it wasn't even that bad. It reminded me of The Watchmen, when everyone's like, don't go see that movie unless you want to see a big blue ball, a big blue dick. And it's like, he shows it, but it's not, it's not in your face. It's not as bad as I thought it was, but, whatever. It's not like, either way, watch this on your own. Don't watch this with your family because you might feel uncomfortable if you're not into that stuff, but otherwise it's not. It's very tame, actually. What am I talking about? It's a good movie. It was probably the best movie of last year. I just can't think of anything that came out last year. I might be tripping. But yeah, Nosferatu was dope. And so, me and my mom left Nosferatu, and then we went to Olive Garden. My brother showed up. I was like, hey, anybody want to see Sonic 3 with me? And they were like, hell no. And so I went alone, and then, look, I liked Sonic 3. And I know that it's marketed towards kids. But that, you don't really think about that until you get to the theater and you see all these kids. All these kids with their parents, with their families. No one's there by themselves but me. I felt a little weird because I just want to see some Sonic. I want to see Shadow. I love Shadow. I used to have the Shadow video game for GameCube. I used to be that edgy little kid, right? But yeah, that game, I played the hell out of that game, bro. And when I was younger, I couldn't really afford video games. So whenever I got a new one, I'd play the shit out of it. And even I knew that it was a bad game. Like I could tell, like, oh my God, like I have to just write it out. But I still loved it. I still love the opening. The song. I know there's a part where Sonic falls in the opening movie, and then they recreated that into the Sonic 3. That was sick. They did a lot of stuff like that. Some stuff I didn't recognize because I never played all the games. But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. But honestly, because I talked it up when I was at work or my friends or whatever, they're like, hey, did you see the Sonic movie? How was it? And I had to tell them every time, it's a kid's movie. Like, you really have to. It is a kid's movie. It's better than the second one. I don't even remember the first one. But I think It is very enjoyable, and I think people were kind of hyping it up a little too much because I love Jim Carrey. I think he's the best actor in the entire film. But people were saying, I don't know if they were joking, but people on TikTok were like, "Oh, he deserves an Oscar for this because he's playing two roles at the same time, and he's talking to himself essentially." And it was like, bro, chill, okay. Eddie Murphy did it first, but either way, Jim Carrey did a very good job. But I think what he was doing in the movie was not like, I don't think he was taking it as seriously as people thought he was. I think, he's one of those legendary actors who can just show up on set and he's got it, he's good, and he doesn't have to do too much. He's the Tobey Maguire of the Sonic franchise. Even though Tobey Maguire probably he could have put a little more enthusiasm in that last Spider-Man movie he was in, but with Tom Holland and all them, but okay, whatever. That's another thing. But yeah, I think Jim Carrey was the standout with Shadow. Shadow, I mean, Shadow has a funny story in general, with the Maria, and the Latina. Bro, this was watching a novella and he's like, oh, I love, like, because people know the meme of Shadow. Man, I love Latinas. And for the end credits, if you haven't been spoiled already, it was all over TikTok. But yeah, I think they kind of rushed it. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these characters should have been in the past two movies. At least Sonic 2. Sonic 2 should have had Amy at the very least. And then this next teaser should have been Metal Sonic and maybe Rouge or something. Even though I don't think they'll ever put Rouge in the movies because she's too big giddy. She's a little too sexualized unless they tone it down, which I guess they have to because it is a kids movie. They can't do what the video games did and just have them things swanging. But and it'd be a weird thing to see in 3D. Anyways, I enjoyed the movie. Go watch it when it's on streaming. That's my recommendation to you. So the next movie I'm going to talk about is Wicked. I saw Wicked in theaters, and I thought it was good, even though technically I walked out of the movie. But I'm going to explain myself, okay? I did not want to see this movie at all, okay? I just wanted to kill time because I was going to another Pokemon Go meetup because I've been going every so often, right? So often. Pokemon has entered my life again, and I love it. It's rekindled my love through the game, and it is hella fun. Meeting people and playing and all that stuff, it's cool. So I needed like 2 hours to kill, maybe an hour and a half, actually. And Wicked was 2 hours and 26 minutes the last time I checked. Maybe 46. It was a long movie. So I knew that I wasn't going to watch it from beginning to end because there was no way I was going to miss the Pokemon Go meetup. So I walked in there with an open mind, right? Because, I knew someone who was like, you got to go watch it. I've seen it like 5 times already. I was like, bro, okay. This is a Disney person. So it's like, okay. Here's the thing with the movie. It is very Disney. I can't even explain it, man. A lot of musicals. I knew it was a musical. A lot of just, fairy tale acting, oh, welcome to the land of the... So we have Ariana Grande in the movie playing Glinda, I think. The Good Witch or whatever. They go into the lore. I don't know if this is a novel. The Wizard of Oz. I think it is. So I'm not too familiar. And then we have Cynthia Evo, who's playing, the Wicked Witch of the West. And I'm not gonna lie, she looked pretty good in this movie. Even with the makeup on, the green, she looked pretty all right. But I think I just wasn't interested in the lore. I'm not a big Disney dude. I'm sorry. So I really did try to give it a chance. The music was good. The acting was good. It just felt kind of funny because I don't know. It did feel like I've heard this being said before. It felt like a Marvel movie is to us what this is to theater kids. And I don't hate on theater kids. I've known a few in my lifetime. They have that reputation, but I think, that is a good analogy to make of these movies because it really felt like that. So as the movie's going on, there's a prince there. There's that one guy who looks like real life SpongeBob who's married to Ariana Grande, or at least with her. And then the one that like, I guess they cheated with their partners. Something, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. That's all I know. The guy who's like, So the last thing that I saw that made me crack up, that had me cracking up before I went to the Pokemon Go meetup mid movie was there's a goat. I guess there's a plot about animals being discriminated against because they talk. And so the goat, he's teaching a class. He's teaching a class, and then he flips the chalkboard, and it's in bright pink lettering. Animals should be seen, not heard. And it's like, what the fuck? And he's like, who did this? Bro, they play it so straight too. It's like who would do such a thing? And I think Evo, Cynthia's character, she's the only one who actually consoled the goat. But it's very obvious who it was because the lettering was in pink. There's only one character wearing pink the entire movie. This is fucking. This is funny. This fucking animals. So yeah, I give Wicked. Go see it whenever you can. I might finish it when it comes on streaming. It might be on there already, but I'll probably watch it next year. And then last but not least, before I make this video too long, I saw Creature Commandos very recently. And I've been thinking about it a lot. It really did feel rushed, but I did enjoy, I think it was 7 episodes. Bro, 7 episodes is not enough for this show. This show had so much potential. I feel like the second season is where it's going to shine if it does get a second season. First and foremost, the show looks beautiful. And when I see a show that looks like this, that's beautiful, it's superhero related, and it's all these new colorful characters, and the voice work is really good. It makes me think, because Invincible is dropping in a few days. I think it's tomorrow, actually. Invincible is dropping, and it's like, bro, why can't Invincible look like this? Why can't it look this beautiful? And, everyone's complaining because, every time they do the preview trailer a year before the show actually drops, it's done by a different animation team. It's done by the hentai team, the porn animators. And, everyone's like, bring back the porn animators because it looks beautiful. It kind of looks like Creature Commandos. But yeah, Creature Commandos, I gotta say, man, that is a fire ass show. I think it's James Gunn's official step into the new DC, universe thing that he's building, cinematic universe. I like James Gunn's work. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. I liked Peacemaker. I loved Peacemaker. That movie, that show is sick. John Cena, yo, and I forget that one dude who kicks ass. That show is nice, and I get that humor feels the same too. The Suicide Squad movie too that he did, I really enjoyed that as well. And I also love the fact that he doesn't care. He brings his brother along in every role. I think he's Weasel in this. It's like, fuck it, bro. Generational wealth. We keep it rolling. We keep it moving. We keep it pushing. So the first season of Creature Commandos is all about the backstories of all these characters that we're introduced to that are like the B team to the Suicide Squad. If I'm remembering this correctly, it's taking place after Suicide Squad, the one that James Gunn made, because it's about Rick Flag Sr. and then Rick Flag Jr. died in Suicide Squad, the movie. Spoiler. But that's what I'm thinking is going on. And so we're following this new crew that's put together last minute, and then we're getting their backstories pretty much every episode. And I think my favorite so far would probably be The Bride with the Frankenstein dude. That dude was cool too. I don't know who does his voice, but that dude was spot on. That dude was hilarious. I like Nina. I believe that's her name, the fish girl. I like Dr. Phosphorus, who I think is based off of that dude from Batman Beyond, which made sense because he's the one that runs into Batman, essentially. And then I kind of like Rick Flag. He was all right. And G.I. Robot. Boy, my boy G.I. Robot, that's my dog. That's my coin-operated big dog right there. And it's so crazy how relevant G.I. Robot is today in our climate. Bro, that dude's the goat right there. And he had probably one of the best episodes. And the music was so good too. I didn't understand a lot of it in the beginning because it really felt like James Gunn and his brother were just like, yeah, what's up? Welcome to Romania. We're going to fight these creatures. We got the creature commandos. And it really felt like he was singing it. And I'm not a big fan of, James Gunn inserting himself into like the intro, but I get it, man. You gotta put your foot, you gotta drop it low. Yo, and the women in this show are fine as hell, man. Cersei, even even Nina, the bride, I think her name's Alana, the princess girl. Everyone just looks so good. And I think this is really worth your time. It's only 7 episodes. So go watch it. Go watch it right now. At least get to GI Robot. That's my boy right there. But yeah, that was my little, I guess, podcast, whatever, about the movies and stuff that I've seen. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. And I will see y'all next time. Peace.